In the dark underbelly of St. Louis, where crime runs rampant and justice is often overlooked, a group of criminals known as the GTA Crew are making a name for themselves. After pulling off a daring heist, the crew, led by the enigmatic and ruthless Rico, drive off into the night, leaving behind a trail of chaos and destruction. But Rico's thirst for power and wealth has come at a cost. His actions have not only drawn the attention of the authorities but also of his enemies. And now, one of those enemies is out for revenge. As the GTA Crew revels in their latest score, Rico receives a chilling message: "You may have gotten away this time, but I promise you, it won't happen again." Rico wasn't always this way. He wasn't always out for blood. There was a time when he was just a good kid, trying to make a living in a city that seemed determined to chew him up and spit him out. But Rico learned early on that in order to survive, you have to be willing to fight dirty. Now, as he speeds through the streets of St. Louis, Rico can't help but wonder, who is this enemy that seeks to take him down? And what secrets from Rico's past have come back to haunt him? Rico thought back on the day they hit a lick. They stole a black Benz with 10 keys of crack, also known as White Girl. The money they made from selling the drugs was more than they had ever seen before, and it changed their lives forever. But with great power comes great responsibility, and the crew soon found themselves in over their heads. As they drove off into the night, the crew couldn't help but wonder, what if they had made different choices? What if they had not gotten involved in the drug game? But it was too late for regrets now. They had made their bed, and now they had to lie in it. As the sun rises on a new day, GTA Crew will face their greatest challenge yet. Will they be able to outrun their past and come out on top? Or will their sins finally catch up to them? Only time will tell. As Rico sits in a dingy motel room on the outskirts of town, he can't shake the feeling that something is off. It's been weeks since he had to leave town in a hurry, after a job gone wrong, and he knows that Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily are back in St. Louis, trying to hold down the fort. But Mia, Rico's former partner in crime, has never been one to back down from a challenge. And with Rico out of the picture, the plug on the work has been cut off. Mia knows that she has to think fast if she wants to keep the crew afloat. She remembers a time when Rico would say when the plug is out, you have to hit a lick, and that's exactly what she plans to do. The stakes are higher, and the competition is fierce. Other players in the game will stop at nothing to take what's theirs, and the crew finds themselves in the crosshairs of a rival gang. Rico, who has been laying low, gets wind of what's happening back in St. Louis and knows that he needs to step in. He knows that Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily are in over their heads and that they need his help. As Rico returns to the city, he finds that things have changed. The streets are more dangerous, and the players are more ruthless. But Rico is determined to protect his crew, even if it means putting himself in the line of fire. Together, Rico, Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily embark on a dangerous journey to take down their rivals and secure their place in the drug game. They'll have to be ready for anything, as the game is constantly changing, and one wrong move could mean the end for them all. Rico, Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily are in the fight of their lives, and they're not going down without a fight. But as the bodies pile up and the stakes get higher, they can't help but wonder, is the game worth it? As Rico, Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily navigate the dangerous waters of the drug game, they find themselves faced with a difficult decision. They can continue down the path they're on, risking everything for a taste of power and wealth, or they can walk away from it all and start a new life. The question is, how far is Rico willing to go to protect what he's built, and how much is he willing to lose in the process? Rico, Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily had been through it all together. From their early days as carjackers to their rise as notorious drug lords, they had always been able to rely on each other. In St. Louis in the North Side, their old hideout had been taken over by a man known as Big D, the owner of the black Benz they had stolen all those years ago. With the 10 bricks in the truck, Big D had been locked up for killing his baby mama, after she lied to him about stealing money. But he had beat the case and was now back on the streets, looking to reclaim his territory, and out for revenge on the GTA Crew. Rico, Mia, Jake, Tony, and Lily knew that they had to be ready for anything in this new game. The drug game was nothing like robbing for cars, and they had to be smart if they wanted to survive. But with Big D on their tail, they knew that they had to act fast. With great power comes great responsibility, and the crew soon found themselves in over their heads. Meanwhile, Big D was closing in on the crew. He had been tracking their every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And when that moment finally came, the crew was caught off guard. In a brutal and violent showdown, the crew was forced to fight for their lives. Rico, Jake, Tony, and Lily proved to be formidable opponents, but they were no match for Big D's ruthless and cunning nature. As the dust settled, the crew realized that they had lost. Jake and Tony was killed in the battle, they had been outsmarted and outmatched, and they had no choice but to flee the city. But they would never forget the lessons they had learned in St. Louis. They had come a long way from their days as carjackers, and they had paid the price for their mistakes. But in the end, they had learned that the drug game was not a game to be played lightly, and that the cost of power and wealth was often higher than they had ever imagined. The question is, will they be able to find redemption, or will they be forever haunted by their past? Lesson: the drug game is not a game to be played lightly, and the cost of power and wealth is often higher than imagined.